Well, thank you for joining us to this webinar. We will start in 5 minutes. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I think everybody more or less is joining us. So thank you for joining us today for this webinar on African swine fever. Well, one of the most significant challenges currently facing the global pig industry today. So my name is Isaac Ballarà. I'm the Global Technical Manager here in HIPRA, and I will be your moderator for today's session, right? So as you know, ASF is far more than an animal health issue. It impacts farmers, veterinarians, processors, international trade, food security, and sustainability of the entire pig production. Well, today we will have the opportunity to explore ASF from three complementary perspectives: field experience, disease management, and innovation. We'll hear from first-hand accounts of how ASF has been managed in Spain and Italy, the lessons learned from real outbreaks, and the critical role of biosecurity and human behavior in preventing disease spread, and the progress being made towards new tools and vaccination strategies through the project BEX for ASF. So our speakers will bring together expertise from producer organizations, commercial pig production, and animal health research, offering a comprehensive view of the challenge and opportunities ahead. So we are glad to have three very good speakers with us today. First, we'll hear Arturo Hernangómez. Arturo is coming from ANPROGAPOR, partner of the BACS for ASF project, and ANPROGAPOR represents nearly 90% of Spain pig production at both national and European levels, and Arturo has been closely involved in the response to the recent AS outbreaks in Spain and brings valuable first-hand experience in outbreak management and control measures. Our second speaker is Umberto Rolla. Umberto is a veterinarian and production manager at Martini Gruppo from Italy, where, well, in Italy, they have a lot of experience, field experiences with ASF. And well, today he will share insights into the current ASF situation in Italy and discuss some of the challenges that they are facing nowadays. And finally, we will hear from Emili Barba. Emili is the Global Pipeline Manager at HIPRA, coordinator HIPRA is coordinating Bugs for ASF project. And well, he will share with us the progress achieved with this project, okay? Working with this project where we are working together to address one of the biggest challenge that we have nowadays, which is the ASF. So following these presentations, we will have a Q&A session. So I encourage you, everyone, to submit questions using the chat. Well, the chat, the Q&A part, where you can where we can submit your questions through this. We will do our best to address all the questions. The webinar will be recorded, so and we will share with you the recording session. So without further additions, let's begin. So Arturo, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Isaac, and thank you also to HIPRA and to the project of the Bugs for ASF to letting me do this presentation today. As Isaac said, my name is Arturo Hernangómez. I'm technician from ANPROGAPOR, and I don't know if I can start my presentation or not. Maybe not now. Now, yes. Thank you. So, well, I'm going to talk a little about the outbreak of the African swine fever in Spain, as Isaac has mentioned before, and how we have developed it in the last months, the disease. So I'm going to try to...
We are not hearing Arturo.
No? No, can you hear me?
Yes, yeah, we can.
Yes.
We can hear you.
Okay, but Lilian, I cannot pass the slides.
Okay, I try to give you the control again. No, nothing?
No.
Okay, don't worry.
I will tell you to pass the slide, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so next one. Okay, so to talk about my presentation, I'm going to split it in 4 different parts. One is what was happening before the outbreak of the ASF in Spain, which was the market situation and the development of the Spanish pig production. After that, we will talk about the outbreak in Spain, the first moments of the outbreak in November of the last year. And we are going to talk also about the development of the outbreaks and the disease in Spain and how we are managing it. So finally, to conclude, I will also speak a little about the effect that it has in the Spanish market situation right now. So next one, the market situation before the African swine fever. Next. So just to put that in a little context, and Umberto probably is going to talk also in the next presentation, this is the situation before the African swine fever of the global pig production in the world. So you can see that in China, they have the half more or less of the production, followed by the European Union, that is the second top producer with an 18%, which a lot of importance of Spain over there. Next is the United States, and also followed by Brazil, Russia, the South of Asia, and Canada. Next. This is also the consumption of meat in the world. So we have seen the global pig production, and this is also the consumption. As you can see, China has the most of the production, but they also have the most of the consumption. And you can see that in red, there are the countries that are not able to produce as much as they need. And the other ones that are in green are the countries or the continents that produce more than they need, so they are exporters. So you can see that, for example, China, Japan, the south part of Asia, and Mexico are the ones that are in red and are the ones that they need more meat. So when we had the outbreak of African swine fever in Spain, there was 3 of those four markets that were close to us. The southern part of Asia, Philippines concretely, Japan, and also Mexico. So next one, this is the situation in Europe. Spain is the top producer, is a top producer of pig meat. We have 34.5 million of pigs in Spain, followed by Germany. Germany has been suffered a lot the consequences of the African swine fever that they had in the last years. And in third place is France with 11.7 million of pigs. Next one. So this is the situation in 2025 for the European pig production. You can see that most of the countries that are in the 27 countries of the European Union were growing in the last year. So when the outbreak happened in Spain in November of the last year, we were in a moment that most of the countries were growing and there was a lot of pigs in the market. In an average, we have more or less a 2.3% of increasing of the pig production in Europe. So next one. This is the situation also in Spain of the last year, of the 2025. These are the slaughtered pigs in 2025, where we can see that in the year 221, we have our record. We slaughtered 58 million for pigs. And in the last year, we nearly reached it because we slaughtered 56 million of animals. This means that the Spanish pig production was recovering from the decreasing of the last years, especially of the 2022 and 2023. You know that we have more problems than the African swine fever. We have a tough situation also with the PRRS. We are dealing also with the reduction of antibiotics in the first stages of the life of the pigs, in the piglets especially. And this was something that it was increasing our mortalities in the farm. But you can see that in the 2024 and in the 2025, we were recovering and we were slaughtering a lot of pigs. 2025 wasn't our record in slaughtering pigs, but here in this image, in this slide, you can see that 2025, next one, sorry. In this one, you can see that in 2025, it was our record of tons of meat produced. So we slaughter less pigs than in 2021, but we produce more meat. So this is also have an explanation, and this is because also the imports of the live pigs that we bring to Spain, especially from piglets and from countries, for example, such as the Netherlands or Denmark. So just to clarify, it was a moment what we have a very big number of pigs in the market. This is the situation of the live pig of Mercolleda, the reference price of Spain. And you can see that this is before the outbreak of the African swine fever. And you can see that since summer of 2025 till November, we were decreasing the price in a very high speed. So when it appears, it was the worst moment for us to appear in Spain for the African swine fever. Next one. So just a few conclusions before we start speaking about the African swine fever is that we were in a moment that we had a lot of pigs, as I said too many times. We were full of storage because the meat was in a very good price and the companies were freezing the meat in their capacities to try to sell it in a better price in the future. And we were in a moment where the production was increasing because we were building new farms. We were also improving our production. So it was, for us, it was a good moment of production, but a bad moment of prices. Next one. So now we are going to talk about the African swine fever outbreak that is happening in Spain in November of 2025. This is the first wild boar that we found dead, one of the two first wild boars that we found dead in Cerdanyola del Vallès, in the province of Barcelona. They appear very near for the University of Autonomous University of Barcelona. There were very recent deaths, wild boars. And you can see in the images on the bottom of the picture the lungs and the kidneys of those wild boars. So you can see that they were very clear symptoms of the African swine fever in those pictures. So with this, we send the samples to the Cresa laboratory in Barcelona. They made a positive test of African swine fever. So as the protocols told us, we bring also those samples to the reference laboratory that is in Madrid, to Algete. And there, in the reference laboratory, they just confirmed that Spain was again positive in African swine fever since 1994, so or more or less 20 years later. This is the location of the two first cases. Here in the right part of the image, you can see the port of Barcelona. This is the Barcelona port. And you can see those two first cases in Cerdanyola del Vallès, very near to Barcelona city. Next. So it has some advantages. The advantages were that this area was an area with a low farm densities. In the 20 kilometers, we nearly have no more than 20 farms. And also one good point is that it was surrounded by the railway, the highway, and the river. So this made for us easier to control it. It also have a lot of disadvantages. I will say that it will have more disadvantages than advantages. It's a very high crowd area of wild boars. We have a lot of wild boars in the area, more or less more than 20,000 of wild boars in the area. And also it's a very high crowded urban area. So it's very near the city of Barcelona. There's a lot of people that goes to Cerdanyola del Vallès to do picnic and to do sports activities. So this made very difficult to deal it to the control of the outbreak. Next. So this was the first case. We have a blue area that we identify as the high risk area. In the protocol, it says that we need to put this area with 3 kilometers, not 6. We made it with 6 kilometers because, as you know, we have a regionalization protocol with China. And China tell us that we need to double the distances to keep continuing exporting meat to China. But we need to double the measurements of the high risk area. So the high risk area are 6 kilometers, and the low risk area that is in purple were 20 kilometers. And you can see in the red dots the first positive of the disease. Next. This is the first strategy that we use to control the outbreak. As you can see in the in the yellow circle in the middle of the image is where are the first cases, and the red dots are the fences that we put in the map, and in the map and in the surrounding of the first cases. So we use the highways fences, also the railway fences, the rivers, and we try to close the area for any wild boar can escape of that area. It was very difficult, but we tried it. So this was the first case. As you can see, we also put another fence area in the north, because in the north we have a very big number of farms, and we also reinforced the west part of the Barcelona city using the river Llobregat to make impossible for the wild boars to escape. Next. So this day was a full disaster, as you know. When we have the African swine fever, all of our exports were blocked automatically for all the third countries that we were exporting. We also have a problem that we have a lot of containers full of meat in the sea that were returning to Spain. And those weeks, the price went down, and it was a very chaotic situation. Next. So now we are going to speak about the development of the African swine fever and how we are dealing with it in the next months of the disease. So this was the situation in December, very similar to the ones that we have in November. We can see that the cases were also going to the south. Next. This is the situation in January, that still all of the cases were in the high risk area. Next one. In February, we can see that it made a jump. It made a jump to the south, and this jump was outside of the initial fences that we put to control it in the first moment of the outbreak. So here, no, don't go back. Here we can see that the wild boars were outside the fence when we started to put it. So the disease was outside the fences in the moment that we put it. So here it made a jump to the south in February. Next one. In March, you can see that the map is completely different because we put the protocol of regionalization and we made two different areas. Two different areas that the one in pink is the area 2. The area 2 is the area that have positive wild boars, and the blue area is the area 1. That is the one that is contemplated as high-risk area, but without any positive of wild boars infected for African swine fever. If we have any wild boar any domestic pig with African swine fever, it will be an area 3, but at the moment we don't have it. So you can see here, it's difficult to see, but you can see a lot of orange points that are the positives that we have in March, and in the red dots, you can also see the last ones of those days, and in the green ones, the negatives ones. Next one. Here in April, this is the situation. You can see these here are all the positives that we have at that moment. You can see that the disease was running to the north, also was running to the south, and it was starting here in this moment to run into the west. So we control it and we put it more measurements to try to avoid this. Next. In May, it make also another jump, a very worrying jump, because here in the left part, you can see a lonely yellow dot. This one is a jump that made near to the village of Martorell. So it was a death wild boar with a week of age that they found in a river. So here is the toughest situation that we had at the moment. Next. This is the situation in June. Next one. And this is the right now situation, the situation of the last week. We have 364 positives, 61 outbreaks, and 13 municipalities that are involved in the African swine fever. We now at the moment have the situation for some weeks, so we are very optimistic that the disease is not outside the area that we are controlling in the area 2, but tomorrow we don't know if it can jump to other places or not. Next. This is the situation. These are some slides that I put you from the Generalitat of Catalonia. The Generalitat of Catalonia is the local government that is dealing with the disease. And you can see here that in the area 2, that is the first table, you can see that we have all of the positive cases. This is not actualized because there will need to be more, but we have 358 positives. Those positives, in the most of the cases, were wild boars that we found already dead. So it was founded by dogs, but we are also doing a very big effort to trying to capture all the wild boars that we can. So you can see here that the data of wild boars that we have chased with different traps are in the area 2, 4,600, and in the area 1 are 2,058. So a total more or less of 8,000 of wild boars chased in the area. We also have some cases of collisions of hits, wild boars hits by a car, but are very low comparing to the ones that we are chasing. Next one. This is a graphic to show you in the different areas how we are finding the animals. The most of them that we are finding are captured, the most of the wild boars that the Generalitat de Catalunya is chasing. And in the area core, so in the area that is started with the first outbreaks, is the area that we are finding the most of the death wild boars positives to the disease. So you can see here in the red arrow. Next one. So this is the map. As more red is the municipality, more cases, more positives of wild boars to African swine fever it has. So you can see that the most of them are in Cerdanyola del Vallès, which is also the municipality that started with the outbreak. It is followed by Sant Cugat, Sant Quirze, Molins del Rei. So you can see here in the map where is the disease. Next one, yes. This is the situation that we are doing, the PCRs. And right now we are not doing ELISAs to all of the positive PCRs that we are trying, but we are trying to do another test that is the IPT that is very, very similar. So we are doing the IPTs to a very big sample of positive PCRs that we found, especially in the area 2. So for the, this is not an actual photo because it has some weeks now, but for at this moment, for the 300 of positive PCRs that we found, we did the IPT test to 138, and it was positive for 44 of them. So this means that for those 44 wild boars, there are wild boars that are running with the disease, with the African swine fever, positive to them, and they have time to develop some antibodies to the disease. So this means that the virus is persistent in the wild boars more than 10, 11 days. So this low virality virus and very difficult to eliminate. So we are now trying to do also an strategy to control the wild boars and to eliminate as much as we can the wild boars in the area. So here in the left picture, you can see in yellow the fences that now are built are very different to the ones that were in the first picture that I put you. And we are trying to control everything. So at the moment it is working because we don't have any of the wild boars outside the fences right now. We think so. And we are trying also with the picture of the right to put some different areas. In the more red one, the one that is in the middle, you can see the core area. This area is the one that has the most of the positives. Beside it, in the side of the area, we have the buffer area. The buffer area is an area of very high risk. And this is here in this area, we are trying to control the wild boars using some different traps. And outside it, in the blue with lines area, is the white area. This white area is one area that we are collaborating with the hunters to try to eliminate all of the wild boars that are in this area. It's a very difficult situation because the territory is very complicated to control the disease, but we are trying, and every week we are chasing more of them. Next one. These are some images of the strategies that we are using to control the disease. This is a Tramex that the wild boars don't pass to the other way. We are trying to close all of the tunnels and all of the passes that the highways or the railways have. And we are also in the first moment of the disease. It was also the army over there making labels of disinfection and also to try to use the different dogs and those kind of things to search the wild boars. Next one. So this is the ubication in the map of the different traps that we are using. At the moment, this is the data that we have of the different traps over there. The ones that are working best are the pig brick, is the one that you have in the outside of the photo. Here we put inside feed for the wild boars to come inside, and when they are inside, we capture them. We are also using 43 trapping box and one trap pen that is the bigger one. So you have then where are they located in the map. Next. And also we are trying to do a search with dogs by grids. So the dogs, we have found that the dogs found much better than us the dead wild boars. The dead wild boars, when we cannot use the dogs, because now, for example, it's a very tough moment to use the dogs to find the wild boars, because with the hot they doesn't work very well, and these days is a lot of hot in Spain. We are seeing that with walking we are not able to see the wild boars. So at the moment we have more or less 7 or 8 dogs specialized in finding dead carcasses of wild boars, and this is the areas that we are trying to find. And just to close my speech, I'm going to tell you a little explanation about the market situation that we have right now. So next one. This is the situation right now. At the moment, those countries that are in a dark pink are the ones that we have opened now to the market, and the ones that are in intermediate pink are the ones that are open with conditions. So at the moment, we are doing a very nice job because we have 91% of the market open. Next one, please. This is the situation. These were our exports in the 2025 years. For us, it's very important to keep China open because we have the protocol of regionalization with them. We also have achieved the opening again of the Philippines market. That is also very important for us. That is in fourth place. But we are also trying to work to recover Japan. That is also a very big important market to us. Last week, we had here the authorities of Japan doing a visit to Spain to try to evaluate how we are controlling the outbreak in Barcelona. And we also have another markets that are very important for us close. For example, Malaysia, Taiwan, Mexico, that is also very important and is not over here. So we are trying to reopen again. Next. And also the impact that it has to our production. This is the graphic that we made with the Spanish Ministry and with Traces about the imported live pigs in Spain. So you can see that here in 2026, we have decreased at 37.1 the outcome of the piglets from other countries of Europe. So we have reduced it. Why? Because there is a moment that we have a lot of pigs in the market and the price is very bad for us to produce fattening pigs. This is the price right now of Mercolleda. So you can see in the gray line the price of 2026 that is very low, and it is also starting to decrease again. In the orange line, you can see in November how the African swine fever impacts to our production and how we decrease our price almost to €1. That was completely unsustainable for the farmers. Next one. This is a very quick exercise that we do, that is to cross the data of the cost of production, that is in blue, and the price of Mercolleda. And you can see that in the most of the cases, since November of this year, the blue bar is increasing the orange bar, and our farmers are losing money fattening pigs. So in January, we lost almost €40 per pig. And right now, we are almost equilibrated, but we are also starting to losing money again. Next. So just to conclude my speech, these are the conclusions that right now the Spanish pig production needs to adjust the production. We need to reduce the number of pigs that we are producing in Spain. We need to eliminate the wild bird production population in the area, because if we are not able to reduce or to eliminate the wild bird population, we cannot control the disease, and this is a fact. We are doing our best also to try to maintain the third markets. We are trying to recover Japan and other markets that are very important for us. And the only thing that the farmers can do at this moment is to improve in biosecurity and to try that the African swine fever don't get into a domestic farm. That will be a fully disaster. And also, just to put a hope in this message, we are trying to work in other solutions. For example, the project that we are today, that is the Vax for ASF, to trying to develop vaccines for African swine fever. Next one. So this is my presentation. Thank you for your attention, and let's hope that we can control the disease. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Arturo, for sharing this experience, the insights that we can take from the Spanish experience. Well, now let's move to our second speaker, that will be Umberto Rolla, who will provide us the Italian perspective on ASF and all the challenges that they faced the last years. Okay, so Umberto, please go ahead.
Thank you, Isaac. Okay, I have the control. Okay, perfect. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me. My name is Umberto Rolla, and I work for Martini. Martini is an integrated company, and today I want to share our story with African swine fever. I'm a practitioner, and so this talk will be very, very practical. Let me tell you what this talk is about. First, I would like to have a look of what happened to us. Then I will show you the fact and the things that went wrong. At the end, I will share the main lesson, because the most important thing here is not to go deep into the virus and so on, and how the disease evolved. We will know the concept, the virus and so on. So instead, I want to give you some simple advice to avoid the problems and to make everyone more aware of how to manage this disease. This is why I will focus more on the mistake we should not to make. First, where did it start? You can see the first date on the map. It began in the north of Italy, near Piedmont and Liguria, so close to the main production pig farm, pig business in 2022. In the northern area, oh no. Okay. The second one near Rome was sold after a short time. The ones in the south came later, and we sold as well. And anyway, they hit the areas with low density pig farms. But we can look one thing. The virus hit points that are very far apart. It don't move step by step. It jumped. So it's the first message is quite clear. Many people blame the white boar, but the truth is quite different, or for us was quite different. The virus moved much more on the trucks, car, and boats than on the animals. So the message is quite simple. It travels on wheels. We must be ready everywhere, not only where the boar is. We cannot wait to put biosecurity in place, like in Italy, only when the infected wild boar are already in our area. We must be ready long before that. So it started in January 2022 in wild boar. The first wave hit the farms in the summer of 2023. The second wave came in the summer of 2024. There is a clear pattern here. In winter, the cold helps the virus to survive, stay in the area and so on. But in summer, it spread much more easy. At the start, farmers were not ready at all. The virus was found in wild boar in early 2022, and in this area, there were small outdoor farms with a very poor biosecurity, some organic farm and so on. In just a few weeks, 9 farms were infected, and it spread very fast. Most of them belong to a single company. I don't want to blame this company, but we learn an important lesson here. And today the rules are very clear. If a farmer is in a restricted zone and has more than one farm, people cannot move between the farms. There must be no mixing people going from the farm to another. And what have we learned? Luckily, my company did not have a single farm hit by African swine fever, but some of the information I will share with you today comes come from taking with people who had outbreaks or they on farm. So what did we learn from first farm? There really were many deaths on this farm. About 40% of the animals die in one just month. The first farm, the case one, was a careless farmer, and the vet was not there often enough. I'm quite diplomatic. The farmer thought that it was a bad case of PRRS, and so he just tried to send the animals to the slaughterhouse as fast as possible. Then the test came back, and it confirms ASF. Once the official vets confirmed the disease and built a good system with close watching and regular testing, things started to change completely. In the other farms, the other 8 farms that were hit in the first wave, the pattern is very different from what we expect. In the first 2 weeks, the deaths are really low, almost normal. When the people do, the vet do the post-mortem, most animals show no clear signs. And so it really looks like a normal death. And the picture is not clear at all. In fact, when the first positive result come back, the situation still looks calm, and some farmers get very angry, say, "Look, my pigs are healthy, just look at them." But in the next few weeks, right while the culling was going on, things started to fall apart, and that's shoot up very, very fast. So this slide has one key message. Being open is our first control, and so reporting late helps no one. In fact, it only puts vet, farmer at risk for the health, for the money, with the law. So if you see something, report it fast. And when ASF arrive in an area, the difference between just being unlucky and being a bad farmer or bad vet or bad company is simple. Do not underestimate the problem and reporting it as fast as you can. Then what happened next? After the first wave, things calm down in winter and spring, and for a while, only wild boar were positive. But in summer 2024, a second wave hits the farms. 31 farms in the same area. Then we got a new ASV commissioner, and the good management began. In my opinion, if we had done this from the start, the disease would have stayed probably in a much smaller area. Why the second wave? Our checks showed that poor biosecurity was the main cause. In summer, there is the wet and the barley harvest. There is a lot of traffic on the farm. Farmers go into the field where the wild boar had been, dead or alive, and the virus come into the farm with people. And I want to remember this simple idea. Let us stop blaming with what we cannot control. We cannot control every wild boar, every mice, every mosquito. The wild boar situation is not something we can control in our farm. It depends on public authorities and politician decision, hunting plans, and so on. This is not in our hand, for example, in my company. So we have to focus on what is in our hand, on biosecurity. We decide who enters, what enters, and now enters in our site. But the problem is always been and will always be what we can control, and is where we have to put our effort. Because it's quite simple. It's a common mistake. Many farmers think their tractor, their boots are the cleanest in the world. They believe they can never carry the virus, but this is exactly how the virus travels. Nobody is too clean. We all have to be very clear. Arturo said about the zone, so I don't want to repeat. The European zone, zone 3, virus in domestic pig, zone 2, virus in the wild boar, zone 1, no virus, but at risk. I haven't a chart, but just to give you an idea, if you sell pig from zone 2 or zone 3, you have 50% of the price of the pig market, and in zone 1, 20% less than the market. Then there were the first things we put in place in 2024 to contain the emergency. When cases started to spread on the farm, all of this came with the new commissioner. So what did it mean for daily work? In phase 1, all movement stopped at once. It's like a lockdown with COVID. This is good for stopping the virus, but very hard on open cycle farms. We had, for example, one sow farm in zone 1, and we had to keep the piglet for an extra 2 months, and we had to find space for them everywhere. And when I say everywhere, I really mean everywhere. In phase 2, you can move only inside the same zone. And so if you are in zone 1, you can move only in zone 1. If you are in zone 2, you can move only zone 2. And so we had some deal between neighboring farms, some deals with integrated company and so on. In phase 3, the movement slowly open again, and you can move from zone 2, zone 3 to zone 1, from zone 1 to clean zone. And so in this situation, there were 50 shades of red. You can move the pig only if you have, still today, only if you have a stronger biosecurity. And let me show you the stronger biosecurity we build on the farm. The whole farm is fenced. There is an anti-boar mesh buried more than 30 centimeters deep. We build a filter zone with a shower or tennis bench and a sink in the clean side. We keep the dirty zone, the clear zone apart, and so the trucks and the tractor of the farm, they must stay inside the farm, and the people can move only in one way. Biosecurity is also about people and trucks. The staff must work on the farm only. Visitors must wait 48 hours with no pig contact before they enter, and also 48 hours if they are the hunters, for example. Trucks, 1 for zone. So 1 trucks of feed mill in zone 1, 1 in zone 2, and the trucks must stop 48 hours before changing zone. Both before and still today, when we load and move animals from the restricted zone, we must send the spleen to the laboratory. Until the result arrives, we cannot move the animals, and the official documents are not approved. At the beginning, in 2024 and 2025, the farms has also had to be visited by official vets, but at this stage, only the laboratory results are enough. It is mandatory to record all deaths with a 7-day maximum. If a farm is not all in, all out, 15 days must be passed between entry of animals and next exit. And any unusual death must always be reported, even when they are explained by the visit of the farm's own vet. The virus spread control zone is a high-risk area, up to 10 kilometers wide, along the road and the motorway barriers. The goal is find out as far the virus has spread and stop it. Look for that wild boar and remove them fast with teams, firms, and sniffer dogs. No normal wild boar hunting, only the commissioner can order the culling in a well-defined spot. Remove the wild boar to make a clean white zone, and 20 kilometers buffer around it protects the pig farm district. As Arturo said, the sniffer dogs is very useful tools. And these tools that the commissioner wanted to, and is very effective because these are dogs trained to find that wild boar in the field. Once they find the bodies, they must move them away as fast as possible. They remove the biggest source of virus from the ground. They use the dog mainly in the affecting zone because there the virus is already doing its work. It is already killing the wild boar by itself. So in that zone, the main job is to find the carcass and take them away quickly. Now let me show you where we are today in July 2026. In wild boar, African swine fever is now endemic. There are more than 2,000 positive wild boar, most of them in Liguria and Piedmont. And if you look at the map, the virus is moving down the Apennines from Piedmont to Emilia, and now into the Tuscany. We are all worried about the geography of the Italian Apennines, where it's very hard to keep the wild boar under control. In 2026, we had a new outbreak on a farm in the province of Alessandria, and we also had a positive case on two pig farm in Tuscany, very little, but are two pig farm, 100 kilometers apart. The first case was confirmed on 26th of June, and the second, the 11th of July, just 2 weeks later. Since 2022, we have had 53 farms outbreak, and more than 120,000 pig have been culled. Filippini has been confirmed as an extraordinary commissioner, and he had done a very good job. The restricted zone 1, 2, and 3 were redefined. In the target zone, they also open a wild boar culling to bring the number down. And there is good news too. Let me say a word about Sardinia because I have not mentioned it until now. Sardinia is a completely different story. The disease was separate, old cluster that had always been on the island. But now we have finally eradicated in Sardinia and cleared in Lazio too. In the south, a campaign to control the wild boar worked as well. So the pressure to stay high, and we must not to relax. And just to give you an idea, we are losing at the moment 20 million euros for a month caused by African swine fever. Thank you very much for your attention. I wait for your question.
Thank you, Umberto. Just reminding you that there is a Q&A section on the upper level of the software of the Teams, and please use it to send the questions to the speakers. Well, thank you again, Umberto. It was a really nice overview of the current situation of Italy with a very clear message. Then we will pass to the last speaker, that is Emili Barba from HIPRA, who will update us on the DAX for ESF projects and what the progress of this project made up to now. So, well, Emili, floor is yours. Well, the screen is yours in this case.
Thank you very much, Isaac. And well, yeah, today I will be delighted to present the project and show some of the developments and updates that we have for today. I don't have the control of the screen, so maybe if you can pass it to me or pass a slide. Okay. Maybe you can pass a slide for me and.
Okay. Take control back.
Okay, yeah. So the DAX for ESF project, as you all know, it's a project funded by the European Horizon. That it's not the only project. The European Union has many projects and related to African swine fever, and they want to bring together research centers, industry, authorities, and all key actors from across Europe and also from abroad. Please pass the slide. So the objectives of the project, this one in concrete, it's to develop and to validate the new vaccination and control strategies against African swine fever, both for wild boars and for domestic pigs. Also, obviously, this is a very challenging pathogen, and we have one of the main objectives is to build this body of knowledge and decipher this pathogen genetics and genomics and the host immune response in order to develop these innovative approaches for the African swine fever vaccine. And finally, we are not only working in the vaccine, which obviously it's a main purpose, but we also generate and support many surveillance programs, tools, materials, recommendation, and we also do quite a lot of work on epidemiology to facilitate the adoption of these current strategies that are nowadays in mainly biosecurity, but also in the future on vaccines. Next, please. Okay, so here you can see all the partners of the project. We are 17 partners of 11 countries. It's a 4-year project with a 6 million euros funding. And well, in here you have all the logos of the partners. The next, please, I will show the regions where we are from. There's several partners that we come from Spain, mainly HIPRA as a coordinator, as it was commented, but also we have in Madrid the CBMSO, Interporg and ANPROGAPOR that we have Arturo today. We also have UK members, Perbright in the Netherlands, the Wageningen University, in Germany, in Italy, in Poland, in Romania, in Hungary. We have 2 partners too, the university, Mate University and Profile, and in Sweden. And next, please. And also we have these global partners, Kansas State University, that's more related in the science and the science part. And then in Kenya, we have the ILRI, the International Livestock Research Institution, where we have the animal models to challenge the vaccine prototypes. Next, please. So in here you can see the picture of the first meeting on the consortium we did together with all the members. Next, please. And now a brief update on the situation. And next slide. So the project is currently in the third of its 4 planned years, and the main progress are that we increased in the understanding of the interaction between the pathogen and the genetic and the genomics of the host immune response. We are working there. Obviously, it's a really challenging virus, but we have done significant improvements. We have been able to evaluate the first vaccine prototypes in experimental animal models. We have developed control tools, including these epidemiological models that are available for surveillance programs and diagnostic tools. Also, obviously, the vaccine will be a DIVA vaccine, and we have to develop this diagnostic to be able to differentiate the wild from the vaccinated virus. And finally, we are also establishing the collaboration with the key actors, which are not only researchers and companies, but also the regulatory authorities and hunters who play a critical role in the disease to evaluate the needs that they have, the risks that we are facing in each of the stakeholder, and develop recommendations and materials to implement the nowadays control strategies and also the future ones with the vaccine. And next slide, please. So if you want to, this was a brief presentation. If you want to learn a little bit more, I would like you to visit our Vax for ASF webpage. In the webpage, it's a European project, so we're really transparent on it. You can see some of the results. If you go, for instance, there's the first, the liable that where we published already the identification of some genes modulating the immune response. Also, we share our advances in surveillance, interviews with our experts, and also the events where we go. And obviously, there's a contact button if you want to collaborate. We are receiving some contacts, and we are happy to collaborate with other research institutions and also research projects related to this topic. And finally, also you can follow us on Twitter and X, on Twitter X and LinkedIn, where we also share the updates and whatever activity that we do related to the project. So this is it for my side. It was a brief presentation. Thank you very much, everyone. And I'll be happy also to answer any question.
Thank you, Emili. Thank you very much. Well, I think that today all the presentations have highlighted a common message, from different perspectives. Well, while ASF remains a highly complex disease, effective control relies on combination of different tools, biosecurity, early detection, coordination, very important, and continued investment in research, innovation like this project. Okay, so we have heard all these experiences from Italy and Spain, and also an update of the project of Vax for ASF project. And now I would like to encourage you to make some questions, to move to the Q&A session. If not, I will start with some questions. Let me check the section of Q&A questions, chat. So I will start. Because I am the moderator, so somebody has to ask questions, right? First question could be for Umberto. I like your message about the ASF is traveling on wheels, not on wild boar. Okay, so this is based on your experiences, and I like this. But if you have to choose like a single very important biosecurity measure that pig producers still are underestimating today, which should be this measure, and how can we improve this compliance at some level? Because probably it's a matter of compliance, not only a measure, as a single measure, right?
Actually, the problem, it isn't the hardware. And so the farmer has the fence, the Danish bench, and so on. The problem is the software, and so the mentality of the farmer. And so if they broke the rules every day, it's a problem. And so I think a round table with farmers could be very helpful, because only in this way to share the mistake. For example, in a farm, the problem in a big sow farm was the work on the farm. They're building on the farm in a special area of the farm, and so the employees outside the farm comes into and broke the rules, and it was the big problem. For example, in Italy, it's very hard to kill every wild boar. Probably we have to live with this situation. We have to reduce the number of wild boar, but for sure we have to improve our biosecurity before. Yeah.
Thank you. No, I think that the Italy situation is very different from the Spanish situation, where wild boar still is the main focus of the control. In Italy, everything started in a backyard population, so on farms. So probably was the control was much more complex. So it's clear. It's clear. Something related with the mindset of the farmers could play a very important role with to control at the very beginning the disease on farms. I hope that in Spain never arrived to this moment. Okay, I have a question. I have a question for Emili. Regarding this project, do we have any clinical study? Are we focused on vaccinating sow hares or piglets as well? I don't know if you can say something more about this.
Yes. Well, the truth is that obviously we will publish the results, but now they are still working on them. We did first a study in an animal model to try our first candidates, vaccinal candidates, and well, they were partially successful, I would say. They were some good results, but not in the level that we need this vaccine to be. That it has to be extremely safe and also extremely effective. And the objective is to develop the vaccine that obviously gets applied in all the herd, sows and pigs and piglets, to protect all the population. Well, not only this for domestic pigs, but also we are, as we commented, working on the wild boar vaccine too, that will have other target animals now with other vaccination strategies and all. Also, well, it's a difficult project because there's too very different targets to approach in the same candidates or similar candidates.
Okay, Emili, thank you. So I think that we have just another question for you from some colleagues from Germany. Are there any lessons we can learn from the Vietnamese vaccine so far regarding efficacy and designing of ASF vaccines?
Yes. Obviously, yes, there are, well, the Vietnamese vaccine so far, and also there are even more vaccines coming from Korea and from other countries. For us, the lessons learned are that obviously they are not safe vaccines, and in fact, the use of it's not encouraged for many customers and for many people. They are not encouraging the use of this vaccine because then the farm enters into a situation where there can be recombinations with the field virus, and also it's more difficult to detect the animals that they are infected in an endemic situation because in Vietnam it's endemic. So for us, the lessons learned, it's basically what we don't want to achieve, what we have to improve this to have our baseline candidate.
Okay. And now talking about lessons learned, I have a question for Arturo. Up to now, what are the main lessons that the Spanish pig sector has learned about, like trying to maintain the business continuity, because somehow we are continuing even the losses that we are facing. The pig sector is still going on and gaining confidence during this crisis.
Yeah, well, it was tough moments for the Spanish pig production, but maybe if I need to say that we have learned something is that we now know exactly what will happen if we have another outbreak in other part of Spain. So when it happened in Barcelona, we don't know what was going to happen. We saw also what it happens with the farms that were in the area, in the area of the high risk of the African swine fever. And we saw how their pigs were immobilized because any slaughterhouses wanted because of the risk of losing the third market's exports. So right now we know what we will do and what we will change about the management of the outbreak. And now the message is that we can only send to the farmers is to try to control the biosecurity, the biosecurity in their farms, because it's the only thing that is in the hand of the farmers to try to control the advance of the disease. I also like a lot the message of Umberto talking about that the African swine fever goes on wheels and not on wild boars. In Spain, at the moment, it's only on wild boars, not in any wheel. But yes, it's very important to try to control these things. As we have seen it, because we are decreasing also the imports of the live pigs to Spain. Now the production is being contracting a little. So I think that they are the lessons that we have learned.
Okay, thank you, Arturo. We have some other questions. Well, I don't know who can answer this question, but it's about the transmission. It's like, could you prove transmission via biting insects? Probably it's because you, Umberto, showed a slide with a mosquito there.
Nobody was able to demonstrate that the mosquito is the reason. Yes, of transmission. Yes.
But mainly the blood is one of the main source to transport the virus or to spread the virus. So why not? Could be a situation.
In Spain, they have done, for example, the IREC, that is the Institute for the Wildlife in Spain, has done some studies about this, about the transmission via insects. And they conclude that it was very difficult that, for example, a fly or a mosquito could transmit the disease. Because why? Because it needs to be very full of blood, of any kind of liquid of the animal to transmit to other wild birds. Because they need to. The African swine fever, in the end, is a disease that is very difficult to transmit, but when it transmits, is very lethal. So it's difficult, but it's not impossible.
It's a matter of the dose, also the infective dose that you need.
Yeah.
Is playing a role here. Okay, we have another question about vaccines. Okay, it's about stability and recombination issues for Asian vaccines. Could we say something about this?
Well, yeah, this is the main issue that these Asian vaccines have had nowadays. The recombination and the lack of stability of this virus, and because it's a very complex virus. Well, what I can say, our target is obviously to not have this. If we have a vaccine available and we are put it on the market, it cannot have these issues. No. What we can say is that our approach is different in this case. We are not aiming to an attenuated live vaccine as they are in the market, but what our aim is to develop a vaccine that with a candidate that is live, but that doesn't replicate, and this would guarantee the safety of the candidates. This is the big challenge of the project, but also it's the big opportunity, because obviously with this it would really be a different approach that could guarantee a safety in this situation.
Okay, thank you, Emili. I have another question for you. How important is the international collaboration beyond Europe for accelerating ASF vaccine development and harmonizing vaccination strategies? Somehow I see that at least in Italy and Spain and also Poland, for example, Romania, we have this need. Now we need a vaccine. So how we can accelerate it?
We can accelerate in putting more resources in it, and at the end generating more body of knowledge. Now that it is what we are putting, but not only this, but also an important thing that also this type of diseases require, and what we are doing nowadays with this consortium, is to work together with already the public authorities and the hunters and the vets and the consultants, everybody try to put to be all aligned, because it's not only to develop a vaccine, which is already a very high challenge, but it's to develop a vaccine that can be implemented in Europe, where we want to be very safe and very restrictive. So it's important, this collaboration that we are already doing, because it will be the most effective way to guarantee that whatever money that we spend in this research, it's targeting a useful candidate, and if we finally have a candidate, that it can be applied in the field. So this cross collaboration that we do in this kind of European projects, I think it's key. And then we have to cross collaborate and put more brain energy there to try and succeed.
Okay, thank you, Emili. Thank you. Well, I have two more questions for you, but I will do another question for in the middle of this. For example, for Umberto, about the situation of the price nowadays in Italy, relating with the production cost. How is the situation now? How is impacting the ASF on this?
Just to give you an idea, we are worried more the situation of African swine fever in Spain than in Italy, because when the Spain decreased the export to another states, but part of this meat come to Italy, and so the price, the average price, decreased a lot. I think in the first 6 months of this year, I think we lose more or less 0.25 euros per kilo body weight.
Okay. Oh.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
And so we are.
No, Spain is nowadays producing a lot of pigs. If we are not selling the pigs to China or to Japan, so these pigs, this pork will arrive in Europe. So it's clear.
It's a globalization.
Yeah, it's a matter of globalization. Well, I have another questions about when we can expect the vaccine for domestic pigs will be available. So we are talking about timing. If somebody can give a timing sometime here.
I can take it, but I cannot give timing. Like, what we can expect is that this last year of the project, we will for sure increase and go further on our pipeline, and we are going on a good direction. But so far, we are not in the moment to give timings yet because there's still lots of uncertainties.
And here, link with the vaccination is like if in this project there is like also the development to about the vaccination strategies. Okay? Just not only about developing a vaccine. So if there is somebody or some group of people thinking about how should be the vaccination strategy once the vaccine will be in the market.
Yes. Well, related to this, I mentioned it. We in this project we work with various stakeholders, hunters, public authorities, pig producers, researchers, and all together to try and assess what to do, not only to get the vaccine in the market, but what to do with the vaccine in the market. No, and obviously this is the end situation, but we need yet to know the characteristics of the final candidates to take the decision. Now we have scenarios. Now, if we succeed in this scenario, we'll go in this direction. If we go in this scenario, we'll go in the other direction. No, and we have many open scenarios. But until we don't have a closed candidate and that we demonstrate that it has a high efficacy, but also what's more important in this project, safety, especially for Europe, it really has to be a safe vaccine. We will not be able to give a close direction of where the regulations and next steps should go.
Okay, thank you, Emili. Well, here from Portugal, they are saying, yes, you are right, Jill. So replicating in ticks is documented in, there is one species of ticks that can transmit the virus, so it's possible. And then there is the question, I would say the question for Arturo is, where do you think the virus entered Spain from?
Well, we can make another webinar only for this, but the official version is that there is a variant of the African swine fever virus in Europe or maybe in another part of the world that is not sequenced and is not in the bank of sequence of the European Union, and it has been in somewhere in the world they have been made pigs, domestic pigs, that they are doing some processed meat. They have made a sandwich with this processed meat, and this processed meat in a sandwich has came to Spain, and a wild boar has eaten that sandwich, and with that we have now African swine fever in Spain. We don't really know exactly where it came from. So at the moment, that is the version, the official version, the most probably version. Let's say there's also the possibility that it will be an accident or an escape from a lab, but at this moment, there's an investigation of the corpse of the Spanish government that is under secret of summary. We don't know more than this, so we cannot tell anything about this.
Yeah, well, in other countries was more or less documented that this version about some food or that the humans are transmitting the virus in Eastern Europe countries. So was one of the case, no, the of this spreading. So could be a possibility. Okay, so I have some funny people here sending something to the chat, but I will do probably the last question if no more people encouraged to ask. So probably here is also for Arturo about well, we're from your last slide, no, nowadays we are working to open markets, thanks to the regionalization measures. But from the European level or international level, what are the further actions, let's say, that are needed to ensure that all these trade restrictions are like science-based, proportionate during ASF outbreaks, in order to avoid these moments like we have an outbreak and everybody put the barriers at the very beginning, you know? What kind of actions probably we need to move on from European or international level?
Well, at the moment, what we need to do is to try to control the advance of the outbreak in Spain and at our level. So what we need to do is to put more efforts, more that we are putting now. We wish everything in the area to try to reduce or to eliminate the population of the wild boars over there. And after that, with that, it will be very easier to keep the markets open and to try to reopen again the ones that we have loose. It's very important right now to don't have the virus in a farm, because if we have the virus in a farm, maybe right now we have opened the market of China, the market of Philippines, and with this, we will probably lose them. We don't know, but we will probably lose them. So that is the first measures that I will put, to try to send more effectives, try to send more dogs, more traps, more hunters to try to reduce the population of wild boars and to try to control the outbreak. After that, we don't know. We need to keep those markets open, but we also need to know that if we have another outbreak of African swine fever in the future, we cannot depend at all of the third markets, because we have seen that in the first day that we have all the countries closed, it was a full chaos and a full disaster for our exports. And what Umberto have said, we have sent all the Spanish meat to the rest of the countries of the European Union. So right now it's not a problem of Spain, it's a problem of the whole producers of the whole Europe, because everyone is losing money right now. So this is what we need to take in mind.
Oh. Okay, thank you, Arturo. Somehow we are well containing the disease, I would say, at least in wild boars. So this is a big success from my point of view. So well, this is good. Okay, so we are close to the end of the webinar. So as we have to conclude today's seminar, I would like to sincerely thank our speakers, Arturo, Umberto, and Emili, for sharing their expertise, experience, and insights with us. Well, today's discussion has shown that ASF is not only a veterinary challenge, it's also economic challenge, or even a challenge for the society. Okay, we have talking about the mindset of the farmers. So we learn that basically the transparency, Umberto was talking about transparency, cooperation, preparedness, remain some of the strongest tools nowadays. Well, while research and innovation will help us and are helping us to build solutions for tomorrow, mainly, okay? So also I would like to thank all the participants for your attendance, questions, very good, and the commitment to improve the animal health and supporting the swine sector. And as we have seen in this seminar, not a single organization or country or stakeholder can overcome ASF alone. So success depends on our skills to work, like cooperating, coordinating all different institutions into practical solutions for the field. Okay, probably if Umberto goes back at the very beginning when everything started, he would ask for more coordination, right? So thank you very much for being part of this important webinar and supporting the objective for ASF. And that's it. Have a wonderful afternoon. Stay safe, and well, we look forward to meet you in future seminars. Okay. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you very much, everyone. Bye.